The game Fortnite, played by millions, has taken a large proportion of the gaming world by storm. To some it's about building, some about killing, some about winning, and some it's about running around looking like a bush.
Hi, I'm ST and this is Close Home Gaming's video to Fortnite platform comparison. Here at Close Home Gaming we are a new channel, so if you can just go up and click that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and I'll be as happy as when I was eating this pretzel. But anyway, back to the program. So we're talking about Epic Games here. They're the main development company behind Fortnite. They've been around since 1991 and they were created by a guy called Tim Sweeney. Now they have bought and sold studios, of which one of them is a company called People Can Fly. They were Epic Games Poland and Epic sold their shares, which now makes them a co-developer. But there is one thing that has made Epic, and that has to be the development of their games engine. It is well known, it's the Unreal Games Engine. It's got 4 versions currently going, of which Fortnite is a part. So let's have a look at some of the games. So you've got like Juicy X, Unreal Tournament, Bioshock, Tom Clancy, Army of Two, Borderlands, Gears of War, Mass Effect, Mirror's Edge. You've got the announced Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out, can't wait for that, and Fortnite. Wait a minute, what's that? PUBG is part of that as well? Talk about having your fingers in all the pies. So let's take a look at where it's available. Currently it's available on PC, it's also available on console, so PS4 or Xbox One, and you've also got it on iOS 11. But let's break it down and take a look at the PC first. So PC, there is a minimum system requirement with an Intel HD 4000, Core i3 2.4, 4 gigs of RAM, Windows 7, 8 and 10, 64-bit or Mac OS Sierra. What? Mac OS Sierra? It's available on Mac as well. Okay, better add that in. However, these are going to be the basics of gameplay, and with all PCs there's always a recommended, so let's now take a look at that. So for recommended you have NVIDIA GTX 6600 or AMD Radeon HD 7870, equivalent with a DX11 GPU, 2GB of video RAM, a Core i5 2.8, 8 gigs of RAM, and Windows 7, 8 or 10 64-bit. Wait a minute, no Mac OS in there, we better get rid of that. So that's pretty much it. So let's take a look at the pros for PC. So it is the pure gaming experience, it's what Fortnite was supposed to be. It's aimed at the mid to pro gamers, it's more skill than luck. I mean, luck does play a part for some people, but the end game is pretty much about having the skill. It allows the best graphics, it can have smooth gameplay, it's easy to watch as well as play. Think of the streamers, they use the PC version mainly. Some people do use console, but it is PC, and it's very involved and quick thinking. It's very much about being able to swap very quickly and get what you need, whether it be building or the actual fighting part of it. So with that being said and done, let's now take a look at the cons for PC. So it needs quite a powerful PC for quality play, so to have everything up in full, to have it running smoothly, you need to have a PC which is probably in the thousands of pounds, dollars or euros range, wherever you are in the world. And it needs a dedicated system. As you can see, if you run stuff in the background, it becomes quite blocky, hard to control, and not really playable. Wide connection is essential for PC play. You need to have it linked up with a decent bandwidth and probably broadband. So quite a few pro gamers are playing on the circuit at the moment. There's a lot of streamers. So again, you know, you're going to probably fall into one of those games every so often where you've got somebody who will just obliterate you, and just be prepared for that. Its knowledge of the graphics setup is essential. Again, it's not easy to work out that that a graphics card won't just pick up this game. You need to know how to link it, and then it runs pretty smoothly. You need to learn the basics, so building, or you know, even aiming and shooting. Knowing the map is quite essential to play this game well. You need a good keyboard and mouse. Again, the hardware is essential, making sure that your sensitivity is right to your playing style. And good headphones and mic for the duo and squad. I think that's essential for all of them. To play duo or squad on the PC, you need to make sure that you can communicate well with your team, and that way you can get to the end. So let's now take a look at console and the requirements. So you need a PS4 or an Xbox One. Of course you need a TV, you need the internet, you need a controller, a headset and a mic for duos or squads. Simples really. So let's take a look at the pros for console. So it's good gaming experience, it's aimed at the beginner to mid players. There are some pros streaming out there, but you're less likely to run into them in gameplay. Let's worry about the hardware specs. You can get a pro or you can get a One S, but it doesn't really make much difference. Very easy to download and play from the various stores. Simplified controls, no need for keyboard, knowing where your finger presses are. It's all based on the controller. The wireless play is less likely to give lag as well. On a PC, you need a dedicated wired system. On the console, it will be okay on wireless, and you don't have to worry about having it connected directly to your router. So let's now take a look at the cons for the console. You're talking about slow gameplay and swapping building methods. Now that's either going from building through to weapons, or the different building methods that you can to build what you want. You're going to find that using a controller is a lot slower than a keyboard and mouse, and for that it is a slower building. You've got some skill needed, so for the end game you're going to find that there are a lot of skilled players out there, and they are going to make it hard to get to that victory royale. The movement is more restricted to the controller method. Again, a keyboard and mouse is going to way outplay a controller, which is why cross platforms don't really work in that way, and it's for the more casual players. So you're going to find there's a lot of players just going out there and having a bit of fun. It's not really the pro circuit. So let's now jump across to iOS 11. So we're talking about your iPhones here. So the minimum requirements are in iOS 11, you need an iPhone SE 6S, 7, 8X, iPad mini 4, Air 2, 2017 or a Pro, and a data or Wi-Fi connection. So let's look at the pros for mobile. Well, it's mobile. It can be used pretty much anywhere as long as there's a decent enough signal and or Wi-Fi. Anyone can play it. It's beginner through to pro. Doesn't need a wired connection, so again comes down to the data plan or signal or Wi-Fi. Noise is shown in direction to some. This would be a help, as it does show you the direction of chess or footsteps or gun movement, so you can see where things are coming from. The single click to open or pick up, for some people this will be better because you just have to do a single click to open a chest or search something, whereas you have to get your finger on it on the other two platforms. The controls are easy to see, the layout is directly there. With that in mind, let's now jump across to the cons for mobile. So gameplay speed varies depending on the iPhone, so an SE or a 6S is not going to be as powerful as an X. That's definitely going to be better quality. When directing or action pressing the screen can become obstructed, so obviously you've got to put your finger on the screen in order to move around or to swap items, and that is going to take up some of the viewability. It drains the battery life. Now it's a high processing game, it's going to need a lot of the processor, and that's going to drain battery. Significant data use as well. It's got to constantly communicate with the servers, so if it's communicating with the servers, obviously if you haven't got a good data plan, probably not a good idea unless you're on Wi-Fi. The controls can be tricky, so again you're putting your finger on the pad trying to control yourself as you're moving around. It can be tricky to use. There's lots of noise, can be confusing. If you've got lots of gunfire, lots of movement, it fills up the screen and can be very distracting. It can slow or lag depending on the signal, and it's a lower resolution. So these are going to sum up exactly on the mobile cons. It's, you know, the resolution's not going to be as good as console or a PC. So what for the future? Well, we know it's coming out on Android in the next month or so. There was the April Fool's Switch edition. Unfortunately, it was not official, although it had great potential. So sometimes these things do gain momentum, and the next thing you know, we'll have Fortnite Battle Royale with Mario and Koopa and everyone else playing a part in it. And that brings us to the end of this video. I really appreciate you watching it. Thank you very much, and please don't forget to subscribe and like. Leave any comments in, anything you'd like to see in the future, anything you'd like us to take a look at. And apart from that, we'll see you next time.